Continuing from the last episode, Vincenzo is in a compromised position on a rooftop since his enemy Paolo has sent men to kill him. He's asked to respect Paolo or he will die. Suddenly, the pigeon that has been harassing Vincenzo in his apartment arrives with a flock of other birds and distracts the gunman. This allows Vincenzo to fight his way out of the situation. This is by far the most far-fetched scene of any drama that I have seen. Meanwhile, the compromised art director informs Babel of the data leak, and Jo Han-suk is furious. He smashes the priceless artwork that's being stored in a gallery. They learn at that exact moment that Vincenzo was not killed by the Italian goons. Miss Choi looks shaken as she urges Jo Han-suk to go lay low somewhere overseas. However, as they're leaving the gallery, Prosecutor Jung arrives with an arrest warrant for money laundering. But as we have seen, taking down Babel is extremely difficult, and arresting Jo Han-suk isn't as simply as it looks. Because the next day, the plaza residents gather to watch the news about Jo Han-suk's arrest, and in a surprising turn of events, Prosecutor Jung announces on camera that the Babel case became too personal for him, and that he's been abusing his power to wrongfully target Jo Han-suk. He apologizes and steps down from his position as the chief investigator on the case. It's obvious that he's either turned to the dark side or he's at least been defeated. An angry Taec-yeon finally loses it and throws her cup at the TV. Meanwhile, Prosecutor John is promised a promotion by his boss after a fake 2 weeks suspension. Prosecutor John asks for some guards to be put around his house in case Vincenzo's gang retaliates against his betrayal. Only then do we learn that Prosecutor John actually showed his true colors last night after allegedly arresting Jo Han-suk. He asked him for the chief prosecutor job in exchange for information on, you guessed it, the guillotine files. This guy is trash. He pretended to be righteous the whole time to gain Vincenzo's trust, but he actually just wanted to get information to blackmail Jo Han-suk for personal gains. Very soon, Vincenzo easily bypasses Prosecutor Jung's security and meets him at his family home in front of his wife and daughter. He doesn't seem to be in a rush to kill Prosecutor Jung though, only warning him that when he finally has everything he's wanted, only then will he personally kill him. Taec-yeon reads a letter given to her by Miss Oh, and whatever the content, it makes her get emotional and tear up. She tells Vincenzo that she wants to take Miss Oh out of the hospital for a few hours while her conditions still allow it. She also purchased a nice gift and tells Vincenzo that he should gift this to his mother himself. Vincenzo is shocked that Taec-yeon knows about his relationship with Miss Oh. She smiles and says that it's not that hard to figure out since he's been acting out of character when it comes to Miss Oh. He is always saying harsh things to her, but he's paid all her medical bills without hesitation, and even proactively takes revenge on her abusers. Taec-yeon tells Vincenzo that his mother's days are numbered, so he should hurry up and reunite with her. On their next visit to Miss Oh to give the gift, she tells them that she would like to file for a retrial. Vincenzo agrees to do it without a second word. Without missing a beat, more baseless news of Babel Group hits the press in order to increase their stock price. Taec-yeon is pissed again, but Vincenzo calmly reveals that he actually has the guillotine file. He never threw it back down into the secret room. That was all to trick Mr. Cho. Vincenzo, Taec-yeon, and Mr. Nam get to work going through the contents of the file, and they're appalled by the amount of dirt collected on Korea's most powerful. They devised a plan to use it to take down the evil players rather than turning it in to the authorities. Vincenzo plans to target Babel's partnership with Daecheon Daily first. That's the popular newspaper that helps Babel spread its propaganda. All of a sudden, Chairman John shows up awkwardly at their office. He even gives Vincenzo expensive coffee as a gift. Chairman John explains that he knows Vincenzo doesn't want to get involved in their family feud. He just wants to ensure that Babel Group is running legally under the right leadership. He claims to have read lots of books to help get himself up to speed. So then Vincenzo quizzes him on economics. Chairman John proceeds to get every single question wrong, so Vincenzo kicks him out. It was a hilarious scene, and I'm starting to have a change of heart about this idiot brother. On the other side, his evil brother is plotting with Miss Choi. They want to get their hands on the guillotine file at all costs, and they're scheming on how to hit Vincenzo where it hurts. I have a bad feeling about this. Mr. Nam, as the paralegal, took on the job of pulling an all-nighter and reading through the guillotine file. He reveals to Vincenzo and Taec-yeon that the head of the news outlet pushed his own brother off a cliff in order to inherit the company. This had somehow been captured in some surveillance footage and added to the guillotine file. They also learned that he gets spiritual guidance from from a fraudulent shaman accused of sexual harassment. Somehow all this information is in the guillotine file. It's kind of like Gossip Girl. Then a plan is devised. Vincenzo is picked to roleplay the main character again, who is a fake shaman who will mess with the media tycoon. Vincenzo kidnaps and blackmails the shaman, who then convinces his loyal customer, the media tycoon, to visit a new shaman who's gonna be even more legit than him. This new shaman is none other than the disguised Vincenzo, setting up shop in Gunga Plaza. Vincenzo pretends to be possessed by the media tycoon's dead brother, asking his brother why he threw him off the cliff. The media tycoon freaks out and begins to cry. Vincenzo asks him if he wants to see what will end his life eventually, and telepathically instructs Taec-yeon to paint the word Babel, as well as the number 5. Vincenzo tells him that he must cut ties and trample on Babel, or he will die in 5 days. After they send him off, Mr. Nam tells them that the guillotine file also contains evidence that Jo Han-suk abused his brother since they were little, and he even killed 6 of his classmates when he was in high school. He was diagnosed as a psychopath at 16 years old, which is why his father sent him to the States. The next day, the news begins to publish bad press about Babel. For a change, Jo Han-suk calls the media tycoon and asks him why he has betrayed him, and the two goes at it on the phone, both unwilling to back down since they're used to being the alphas. The media tycoon revisits shaman Vincenzo to see if he's done enough to extend his life. Vincenzo then pretends to be possessed by the spirit of one of Jo Han-suk's old murder victims and tells the media tycoon that he must expose Chairman Jo Han-suk's evil deeds next. Soon after, on the news, they talk about Jo Han-suk's troubled childhood and how he was a killer. Jo Han-suk is confused by how his past got out, since all the detectives that were involved in the case were killed off. That night, Miss Choi brings Jo Han-suk 2 pieces of news. One, they found out that Vincenzo is tricking the media tycoon with superstition, and that's why he's been randomly attacking Babel. And also, she found out that Miss O is Vincenzo's mother, and they're looking into what hospital she's in. On the other side, Mr. Cho asks Vincenzo to meet him. However, he's attacked by 3 men in the parking garage until Vincenzo shows up to help him. Mr. Cho believes it is Prosecutor Jun that sent the attackers. 5 years ago, he met Prosecutor Jun when he was working at the intelligence agency. At that time, Prosecutor Jun was still upstanding, and he was keen on using the guillotine file to weed out corruption. Mr. Cho suspects that Prosecutor Jun must have told Jo Han-suk about the file that is hidden with the gold in the building, so they need to get ready for a war in order to defend Gunga Plaza. True to his words, when Vincenzo returns to the plaza, he sees someone suspicious running around. As he chases the shadow around the plaza, he hears a loud thud. When he turns to the sound, he sees the media tycoon lying on the ground. He appears to have fallen from the sky. Before he can react, Vincenzo is surrounded by the police and arrested on the spot for murder. It looks like he's been set up again. Even though this episode is fairly lighthearted, we know some crazy stuff will be happening soon. Prosecutor Jun will hopefully get what he deserves for becoming a traitor. Chairman Jun might just become Vincenzo's ally. How helpful do we think he will be though? And it's very, very bad news that Miss Choi is extending her evil claws towards Vincenzo's mom. But hopefully nothing overly bad happens to her, because that would just suck. I can't wait to find out what happened. What about you? So remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode of Vincenzo. Thank you for watching!